nothing to do with SQL Server. But to understand SQL Server in depth, you need these concepts. You need to have basic idea about computer basics. Okay. So if you see this presentation, so first slide, it is showing different parts in a typical CPU. So a typical CPU has a power supply unit. With the help of entire CPU will work, and a processor chip, a memory stick. Memory stick means RAM, and a graphics card, video card, motherboard, and hard disk drive. So all these, whatever parts you are seeing, will be connected to CPU through motherboard.
Right.
Okay. So CPU components, we can see motherboard, processor, RAM, storage, PSU, and cabinet.
Okay.
So this is how it look like in closer look. This is fan, that is fine. So basically, what is computer? Computer is, it will take any information as a through input devices. It will process the information with the help of processor. Okay. If you want to store the information, it can store in its storage devices.
Right.
Otherwise, if you want to see the results, it can show you the result through output devices. So under computer, we have input devices, output devices. So whatever the output you want to see, you can see through screen or printer or any output devices. So the entire processing will be done under this processor. And if you want to store the information, you can store in external hard disk or internal hard disk. Okay.
Okay.
So mainly everything you perform in computer, it will be the process is done by processor. But directly, where do the process take place? See, for example, so I want to know 5 plus 2 equal to 7. What will we do? This one plus this one. So I am getting the result 7.
Right.
So to do this operation in computer, computer needs some place.
Correct.
This 5 need to locate in some place, and this 2 needs to be in some place. Then processor will go and identify 5 and 2. It will add these two parts and it will make 7. And whatever the result, it will also needs to store in some place to show us.
Some memory location, all these will be stored.
Yes, that place is called as a memory. We call it as a RAM. So generally it is memory. Okay, memory location. So who is doing this operation?
All this
processor is doing this operation. Where it does? In memory.
Right.
So I have some disturbance from your side. It's okay, you can mute yourself.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's my side. Sorry.
Okay. So processor does everything in computer, but it needs some location to store some values. So temporarily. So these values are stored temporarily. If I close this Excel, you cannot retrieve these 5 to 7 values. Okay. If you want to see these values again and again, you need to store it somewhere permanently.
Correct.
So we click on save, then only these values will be stored. If you don't click on save, if you click on don't save, these values are temporarily stored in memory and you cannot retrieve later. So this value is called as, this place is called as temporary memory. That is called as RAM. So if you want to store these values permanently, you need to use storage devices. So storage device is only for saving. any operation you want to do in computer, that value must come to memory, RAM. So any operation, if it want to take play, processor want to do something, so from storage to that value should come to memory, then only processor can do anything there. Okay. So input, you are inputting some information, it will go to first buffer. Buffer means RAM.
Memory, memory.
Yes. Memory. Buffer means memory only.
That RAM.
So anything you give, it will go to buffer. Okay. Then it will go to main memory.
Okay.
From main memory, CPU will do any operation in main memory.
Right, right.
So after doing that operation, if you want to see that operation, it will go to output buffer.
Correct.
From there, it will send to output devices.
Devices.
If you want to store that, from main memory to it will go to
Storage.
hard disk.
Okay.
Yes. So anything, it will take place in buffer. Buffer means memory. If you want to read a file, 100% from HDD to, it should come to main memory. If you want to do some calculation from HDD to, storage device to, that part, whatever calculation you want to do, that performance should be come to main memory. Okay.
Right.
So these are input devices, output devices, CPU, memory. This is about computer parts. Okay. Now come to disk part. So we have so many types of disk. I'll make differentiation. So one of the important part in computer is disk storage. So whatever the operation you do, that is temporary in computer. If you want to store the output, you need a disk. Okay. So in market, there are two types of disk available nowadays: HDD, SSD. You keep listening these terminologies also. So what is the difference between HDD and SSD? Do you have any idea?
I just know that SSD is quite faster than HDD, and then
Okay, that is absolutely correct. But do you know the idea behind why it is performing faster than HDD?
not actually.
Okay, so HDDs are like this. These are mechanical disks. So in olden days, if you turn on your computer, you will except fan. If you leave the fan, you can feel a sound inside the computer. So it will rotate very fast.
Okay.
So that rotation is from HDD. These are like so many CD, DVD drives placing one by one, one upon one. Okay. So this is mechanical disk. Whenever it rotates, this read and write thread will identify the information. It will read the information, it will write the information. So if you want to see the information, if you want to see a movie from HDD, or if you want to store a file, or if you want to read a file, so 100% it should rotate like this. So these are the memory locations. So whenever this location comes here, then only the information you can see.
Okay.
That is why it is very slow process.
Right.
So after that, in storage, people introduced flash drives. So this device is need not to be rotate. It is not mechanical disk. So it is very fast. This is called as SSD. Okay, this is HDD. This is SSD. HDD means hard disk drive.
Right.
Okay, this one is solid state drive.
Correct.
So this capacity of read and write depends on rotation. Okay, and this IOPS. So basically the capacity of disk we measure in IOPS. IOPS means input output per second.
Okay.
Per a second, how much information you can input to computer and how much information you can take as output.
Okay. Per second.
So per second. For HDD, advanced HDD, maximum IOPS is 250.
Okay.
If we see SSD, it is more than 1 lakh also.
Right.
See the comparison between HDD and SSD. That is why SSDs are very fast.
Very fast.
In olden days, if you turn on laptop also, it will take at least 3 to 5 minutes to boot.
The older ones will take.
Yeah. Now, if you open computer, maybe less than 30 seconds, it will boot and show you screen.
Yes, yes.
That is because nowadays all people are using SSDs.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So next important part in the computer is RAM. We call it as a RAM, but technically it is memory. So main memory, temporary memory, whatever you call, that is RAM. So we already just discussed this. Whatever you do in computer, everything take place in RAM.
RAM.
That is why if you have more RAM, your computer is more faster. Okay,
Yes,
if you want to do any operation, if you have more RAM, it is very much faster compared to other computers. Okay, so purpose, volatility. So it is temporary memory. If you lost power or if you see your system crashes, that information will not be saved.
Right.
Access speed is very fast,
Faster.
much more than SSD. That is why everything will be taken place in RAM.
RAM.
Okay, the most third important, brain of computer is CPU.
CPU.
Okay, this is motherboard. So under motherboard, this is the socket.
Okay.
Here we place our processor chip.
Okay.
Okay, so this is processor chip, and it will use all temporary location, memory, RAM from here. This is memory node. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 slots. Each slot we can allot one memory stick. Okay, memory sticks looks like this. This is memory stick, RAM stick.
RAM.
Okay, so we have 4 slots here, right? So under each slot you can place a RAM stick. For example, if you place 8 GB RAM sticks, 8, 8, 8, 8.
32 total.
So 8, 8, 16, 16, 16, 32 GB RAM will be available. Okay, if you place 16 GB RAM sticks, that will be 128 GB. 16, 16, 32, yes, 64, correct. So 64 GB RAM sticks. Total entire this computer capacity is 64 GB RAM.
Okay,
so
total 4 RAM
yeah.
sticks we can place.
Yes,
Whatever
as
the
per
capacity of that too.
no, based on it compatibility only, we can place RAM sticks. So we have motherboard compatibility of DDR4, DDR3, DDR5 like that. So based on that capacity, you can upgrade your computer. Even though whenever you bought your laptop, you might get only 8 GB memory RAM. So if your motherboard is compatible, then you can upgrade it to up to 32 GB, 64 GB also.
Got it.
So what they will do is they will remove your olden RAM sticks. They will place new RAM sticks here. So as per new architecture nowadays, so if you want to place RAM sticks, you need to use equal RAM power. So that means if you place 8 GB here, you need to place all 8 GB RAM sticks. Okay, so you cannot place 8 GB here, 4 GB here, 2 GB here, like that. Okay, so you can place one stick also. It will consider as 8 GB RAM. If you place 2 sticks, it will consider as 16 GB RAM. So this is for normal computers, user computers, but for server computers, where business operations do in companies, so that motherboard look like this. It needs more processors, more memory. So if I open my personal computer taskbar, so go to performance. So my memory is 16 GB here. 15.9 it is showing. That means 16 GB RAM I have. Okay. Go to CPU. I have one socket. Socket means this one.
Which one?
Okay. This one.
Okay.
Okay. This is socket. Socket is one. Cores, I'll show you what are cores and logical processors 4. I'll tell you what are logical processors. So inside this socket, we can place chip. Inside chip, we have cores. Inside cores, we have logical processors.
Okay.
Okay. But in server computers, the number is much more than this. So you cannot work business operations with one socket and two cores.
Right, right.
So it needs more cores.
Correct.
So that is why it is motherboard designed as multi-core motherboard, multi-socket. Okay. Under each socket, you can have multiple cores, and each core you can have multiple processors.
Okay.
So each socket has its own memory node. This memory node is related to this one. This memory node, this CPU processor related, this uses this memory node, and for this memory node, for this memory node. So we have 4 slots here. If you see, there are 8 slots here.
Correct.
Okay. So all this memory, if you open any application in computer, for example, I am opening Notepad. To open Notepad also, it needs some memory. To type something, I typed something here, hurry. Hurry, H-A-R-I, these characters to store somewhere in computer, it needs memory location.
Right, right.
This memory, you cannot tell, if you have multiple slots, you cannot tell exact physical location of this memory. It might be stored in somewhere from here also, here also, here also. Here.
Right, right.
Okay. So combinedly, it will make virtual address space with all memory. So we have 8 memory slots from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Combinedly, it will make virtual address space. From VAS only, you will get memory. VAS allots memory. That is logical memory.
Okay.
So you cannot find the physical location of exact memory where your application is utilizing. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So inside socket, so this is socket. Inside sockets, we have cores. So in olden days, under each socket, we have only one core that is called as CPU. CPU means central processor unit. So we have only one CPU earlier days. So nowadays, inside socket, we have multiple CPUs.
Okay.
Okay, this is one CPU, another CPU, CPU1, CPU2. CPU starts from CPU 0. CPU 0, CPU1, CPU2, CPU3. So in my computer, how many logical processors I have?
4.
Here is the value, 4. So that means physically I have 2 cores only, core 0, core 1. So under each core, I have threads. Threads means logical processors here.
Okay.
So each thread is capable of doing its own, acting like its own CPU. Okay. If you do an operation to this computer, that operation, 4 tasks can be done simultaneously in this computer because I have 4 logical processors. So this is 1, this is 2 second, this is third, this is 4. So this computer is capable of doing 4 operation at 1 second. We have some duration. Per duration, it is capable of doing 4 tasks simultaneously because I have 4 logical processors.
Right.
Okay. So if you have more logical processors, your computer is much faster in doing processing capacity is more. Okay. So if you see more core Intel processors, so these are Intel processors. In market, we have AMD processors, Intel processors, and these are household processors. The desktop users, personal computers, but servers have different type of processors. So commonly we know i3, i5, i7, i9 processors. i9 has
Sorry.
So
This thread
if you
is
go for
equivalent to
latest
what
generation.
processor? Sorry to interrupt. Just you told us, so this quad thread, 8 thread, 16 thread. So this thread is equivalent,
Yes.
means one thread is equivalent to one CPU, like so.
Processor, one CPU.
Processor.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Take hand.
Okay. So 16 thread means there are 16 CPUs inside, 16 logical CPUs inside this core
Mm-hmm.
and 8 physical CPUs, octa core.
Okay, fine. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you see server computer processors,
Mm-hmm.
those are different. Actually, we might not heard about these names also. Server processor Intel. Naming also different for them.
No, actually, I have saw these Dell and Intel processors
Okay.
in our lab.
Xeon processors.
That
Xeon
EMC
processors.
something is there. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly.
Yes. So we have Dell processors.
Uh,
If we see images,
the
Xeon
third one, no?
processors.
The third image, no?
Third one.
First row. Yeah, this one.
This one.
This one. Actually, these are
Okay.
in our
This
lab.
is the Xeon processor. Yes.
Correct. GM.
Okay. So these are very much faster than normal
Mm-hmm.
desktop computers.
Right.
So AMD EPYC processor. You might listen this Ryzen processors,
Yeah,
AMD processors.
yeah,
So
correct.
those are related to AMD.
Okay.
So everything we do in computer, the master brain and the doer is processor.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the first thing you will do after buying a computer?
Thing to do after buying a computer. Unpack.
So nowadays, okay, unpack is first thing. So nowadays, if you buy a computer, everything is default. But in olden days, if you buy a computer is a box only.
Correct. We have to install all the softwares and whatever.
Yes, we have to install what?
Operating system software.
Operating system.
Right.
Operating system is the first thing you need to do.
Correct. Uh,
So if you don't install operating system, you cannot use your computer.
correct.
So operating system is the mediator between user and hardware.
Right.
Okay, what is hardware? Anything
Hardware.
you see,
Mm-hmm.
anything you see, computer parts, all is hardware.
Correct.
So under computer, anything you see,
Mm-hmm.
everything is hardware here. CPU, RAM, okay, this motherboard, everything is hardware. To communicate with hardware, you need a software that is called as operating system. So operating systems are two types. One is user operating system.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is a server operating system.
Okay.
So under user operating system, so all domestic work, personal work, whatever we do, personal computers use user operating system. It is lightweight and only one user can access at one time.
Okay.
So I might have multiple users in my computer.
Mm-hmm.
This is my personal operating system. Users, I have multiple users, but
Okay.
each user can enter only one time. I mean, so if I am doing something in my computer,
Mm-hmm.
nobody can interrupt me because this operating system can accept only one user connection.
Okay.
But in business things, you cannot restrict like this. So multiple users, thousands of users,
Mm-hmm. They can
lakhs
access
of
the same.
users can connect at the same time to the operating system.
Right.
Even though I am connected to this computer, another user can connect to the same computer at the same
Okay.
time
Mm-hmm.
in server OS. So
Right.
these are user OS are hosting applications and business operations.
Okay.
Okay. So
Correct.
security, this is focused in user centric. This is focused
Mm,
in network security and application centric.
yeah.
And the server OS is much more advanced than user OS.
User. Correct.
Okay. So
Right.
operating systems yesterday we have seen XP were popular. Windows 1 started,
Mm-hmm.
Windows 3, XP, after that Vista, after that
Yes.
Windows 10, Nowadays we are
7,
using
10.
11.
Correct.
Yes. So, but server operating system, if you see, namings like the server 2003, 2008, 2008 R2, release 2, same version released again with
Okay.
some more specifications. So
Mhm.
nowadays, 2025 also available.
2025.
Windows servers list. Windows, it says 25
Mhm.
server OS list. '25 also announced and it is working, I think. So 25, Windows
Ah.
Server 2025. So availability date is November 1,
It's available now.
2024, and it is available. It will give support. I mean, if you
Okay,
are
okay.
using that operating system, if you find
Mhm.
any bug or if you find uh, any mismatch or any problem in that operating system, so you can contact Microsoft after 2024.
34.
After 2034, if you face any issue and if you face any
Then
uh,
we won't get any
your
support, right?
business loss according to this bug, because of this, yes, you will not get any support after 2034.
Okay, okay, okay.
So after 2034, you need to upgrade to other operating system.
Other newer version
I
also.
mean, you need to upgrade latest operating system. Yes,
Correct.
newer version. Okay.
Okay.
So you bought computer and you installed operating system. What will you check? First to
In the
see the
properties,
computer.
no, normal user will check all those, what is the RAM, what is the HDD size, and in the property
Okay.
section, like we are used to check.
Yes. If you go to this PC properties,
Uh,
you can see basics information.
uh,
So what is the processor inside
this is,
it?
right.
What is the RAM?
Uh,
Okay. What is the operating system installed?
mhm.
Everything. Basic check you can do from here. So all the configuration, if you want to modify, you can do it from see control panel. Okay.
Okay.
So this PC, what is this PC? So you told just to see basic configuration, we
Uh,
use this PC properties. This
yes.
PC is a feature of Windows operating system
Mm-hmm.
to see all the locations, all the storage points, devices, all the hardware things. If you want to see, this
Mm.
PC is the
Okay.
main location for
Mm-hmm.
uh, Windows operating system. So you
Correct.
can see what are the storage points here, and you can quickly navigate through your all folders. So through Explorer,
Mm-hmm.
this feature allows you to go through quickly all your computer. That is called as this PC.
Right.
So under this PC properties, you can see
We
basic
can do
checks
it.
of what are your configurations. Okay.
Okay.
So if you see this PC, it is started from C drive. Brief introduction about this. Why all computer starts from local disk C? Why it is not A and B? Do you have any idea?
No worry. I don't have any idea on this.
Okay. So when computer introduced, at that time there is no technology of drives. So at
Yes.
that time,
Floppy.
floppy disks were used. Okay.
Right.
So for floppy disk, A and B locations were reserved for floppy disks.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So whenever computer introduced for memory location, for
Mm-hmm.
storage location, they were using floppy disk. So
Mm-hmm.
you know floppy disk, right? You might have seen
Right. I
floppy
saw.
disks
Yeah.
also. Yeah. Yeah.
Our school projects were used to save on this only.
Yeah. In school projects, we were using, and our teachers were using these
Uh,
floppy disk. These are look like floppy disk. Okay. So capacity of floppy disk,
no,
maximum capacity is
no idea.
in MBs, maybe 7 MB.
Like the
2.8 MB maximum capacity is. So in the 2.8 MB floppy disk, our teachers were using many papers to store and
correct, correct, those things. Mm-hmm.
okay. So 800 KB was the memory capacity of these floppy disks.
Mm-hmm.
These floppy disks are used. Do you know the storage capacity, memory capacity of first computer used to send satellite on moon?
No, no,
Apollo mission,
no.
Apollo satellite, Apollo guided satellite computer configuration. Let me show you. You will amaze.
Mm.
See, the memory is not even in KB or bytes. It is 2048 words.
Oh,
Very much basic. So
right.
nowadays, our even phones also, low level configuration phones also have at least 8 GB memory, 4 GB
Correct.
memory. So the computer used for sending satellite to moon is used only 2048 words, not even bytes.
How it was possible? This is quite miss very very late.
Yes, yes. So we evaluated too much from there. Okay, so if it is A and drives names, that is why. So all the programmings used this A and B drives, later introduced disk drives, then they have given the name of C. Okay, so now after that, hard drives evolved so many times compared to floppy disks. So floppy disks are, so nobody started using floppy disks, so they were outdated. After that, so many programs were written with the name of C operating systems. So even though floppy disks are outdated, you cannot use A and B because all the programs written with the C name.
Correct.
So operating systems programs also written with the name of C drive. So to change all these letter with entire programs with the entire operating system was very hectic. So they left it as it is. So whenever computer starts, it starts from C only. Okay. If you want to use A, B letters also, you can create one more disk. You can use that name AB drive also. But by default, you will see only C drive.
Okay, means we can use now.
We can use. I'll show you how to use it when we are using uh, clusters in SQL Server. So if you want to change settings in mobile, you can go to settings, but in computer, you will go to control panel. Okay. So under control panel, you can change everything in computer settings, display settings, print settings, any third-party tool settings, pen drive settings, whatever you want. You want to change settings, you can use control panel. So Windows tools, I'll tell you about Windows tools. So if you see some performance issues, I mean, if you open Excel and it is browsing, it is not allowing to do some operations here. Or if you open YouTube and it is browsing. So how can you troubleshoot these performance issues in computer? Do you have any idea?
Simply what I used to do, I used to just delete those temporary files and that cache memory I used to clear. That's it. Don't it?
Okay, okay, that is one way, but not a professional way actually. So we need to open Task Manager.
Uh,
So under Task Manager, you can go to Process and you
mhm.
can see which program is utilizing more CPU, more memory. Okay, so if we sort out this, so this Chrome is using more memory than other all operations. So unnecessarily it is using more memory. I'm not working with Chrome now. but it is more than 2 GB of memory.
Right.
Okay, you can kill this operation, right click end task.
Okay.
Then 2 GB of memory will be released for you. Okay, so which operation is utilizing more CPU? SQL Server is utilizing more CPU. It is needed app for me. So I am not killing this operation. If I don't want this, I can end this task.
Okay.
That 17% of my CPU capacity will be released.
Okay.
So now my computer will work faster than earlier. Okay. So performance, if you go to details, I'll tell you more about shortly. So process, if you see process, you can see how much CPU is consuming, how much memory is consuming, how much disk is consuming. GPU means graphics designing card, graphics card. It is like CPU. It is utilized for graphics operations. So GPU is very much faster than CPU, hundreds of times faster than CPU. It is utilized for graphics operations. So gaming industry completely depended on this GPU. If you have faster GPU, you can play to complicated games also in your computer. Okay. So CPU utilization, RAM utilization, disk utilization. I have SSD. If you see here, you can see SSD here. Okay, this is network. This is Wi-Fi. This is, I mean, network means this is LAN. If I connect LAN to my computer, you can see some progress here. I didn't connect anything. And I connected my computer to Wi-Fi. So you can see the Wi-Fi utilization and graphics utilization. CPU utilization. Okay. If you want to see more, if you want to monitor more operations, you can open resource monitor from here.
Okay.
So here, if you go to CPU, you can see more details about CPU. So which exe file, which operation is utilizing CPU. So CPU 0, I told you. So processor starts from CPU 0, then CPU 1, CPU 2, CPU 3. Under which processor more operations are going on, you can see everything. Okay, memory, RAM. So RAM is utilized up to more than 50%. And disk. So disk utilization is like this. Network utilization is like this. Okay. This is how you troubleshoot if you have any issues with performance in your computer. Okay. CPU utilization. We have already discussed about motherboard. CPU usage, memory usage, disk activity, network usage, application usage. All these system temperature also. So we can measure temperature also. We can see from settings. So if temperature is too high basically in servers, they measure temperature. So that is why in data center, they use cool environment. And in data centers, they use water to cool these computers. Nowadays, so they are using some type of liquids and they are placing CPUs under liquids. Let me show you. So CPUs inside liquid. So this is very faster in processing because everything is under controlled environment. See, all the CPU components are inside liquid.
This is like coolant, what we used to put in our four-wheelers.
Like coolant, that's it. Yes, coolant. So it is not water, some type of liquid they will use. You can see videos also, short videos. So water also can be used, but not normal water. They will so we will use battery water, right? Without any electrolytes. So distilled water, more than distilled water, they will use. So are you able to see this video?
Start buffering. Not started.
You can see this video, right?
Correct. But I stopped like this. Yes.
Okay. Okay. See this. Here is a liquid. Inside liquid, the motherboard, CPU, everything is there. So by using this type of liquids, we can control the temperature. If you control temperature, the performance also very high. Okay. So if you open task manager, is it okay? Can we continue? Can we continue, or if it is too much, I can stop from here.
That's fine, but it means if you stop it is good because I have to leave the office at 10:30.
Oh, okay. Okay, then we will stop from here to we will continue from tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let me stop the recording.